Now we got that out of the way. Let's kind of jump into what the real topics of the show are. And I want to talk about college quarterbacks transitioning to the NFL. So I like to think of it as like scouts, NFL scouts want to analyze and their players and like give their teams like the best picture of how these quarterbacks look when they're going to be drafted. Because I know there's a handful of quarterbacks like Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Sam Ehlinger that need people to analyze them, see what their game can translate to the NFL. First things first, I think scouts like to look at stature. So looking for someone that's tall, like 6'2", 6'3", and above, big and athletic. Big probably because they want to make sure they're less injury prone and athletic because they can move the ball down the field, either if they're passing or running it. And good decision making. When I think of good decision making, I think of a quarterback that minimizes his turnovers, and that's a good game IQ. So they're just so aware of the presence of the game and what's going on that they make smart decisions to keep the game alive. And great pocket presence. Great pocket presence is something where you're in the middle of the play, all these big ass linemen are about to attack you, and then you're just so aware of your surroundings, and you're able to be comfortable in there, so you can still continue looking downfield and figure out who you want to throw it to and follow through with the play. And speaking of falling through the pass is important because if you throw that ball and you flinch a little bit, it could really change the momentum of the game, depending on what the situation is. Just like avoiding flinching and just take the hit if you need to after the pass to make sure the play is good. Great arm is important. That's kind of the big one, and that just means strength and accuracy. If they can throw the ball downfield, then that means they have good chances of making deep ball throws and being accurate. As I mentioned, like minimizing turnovers is important, and that falls along with accuracy. Then something that I think not a lot of quarterbacks understand, even Patrick Mahomes has admit this, just understanding defenses and being able to read them. If you have a good knowledge of what happens on the other side of the ball, I think you have a good understanding of how you can manipulate them and kind of make it more in favor for your offense. And one of my favorite things is quarterbacks with quick releases, because I admire quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Dan Marino, where they have these quick, fast releases where that ball can just get out of their hands so quickly. And like really natural too. I don't like see quarterbacks have to lob it and have to muscle through their throws. And when that ball is released, I like to see tight window throws. Those are like NFL level throws. Those are throws where if the receiver has more than one step in the NFL, that's considered a open throw. And if quarterbacks can get the ball in their hands on those tight windows, and the receivers hopefully are experienced enough to catch those, then that's going to look really good for the team and make sure that you guys win some games. And one thing that's really heavy is a trend in dual threats. It seems like, especially the high school level, high school quarterbacks that go into college, they have to be dual threats. And that probably translates the same way when you go to the NFL. When I think of dual threats, I kind of like the balance to be more like 60% passer, 40% runner. Like, yeah, these running quarterbacks are really great, like Lamar Jackson. But at the end of the day, like, defenses can find a way to neutralize that run game. And if you can keep your passing abilities up there, then you can still be a huge threat and still use your legs if you need to when they least expect it. And then there's like other intangibles that are kind of things kind of more internal. One of them is being like a great public speaker, being able to speak professionally at post game conferences. Even if you lose, you still got to be still got to be professional about it and just kind of make sure that you're not letting it get to you. Having great work ethic. Someone I really think is good at that is Joe Burrow. I mean, he wasn't really that great of a quarterback his junior year and before that in college, but then that last year where he really stepped up, it was just because he worked hard. He had great coaching, but he also just worked hard in the offseason. That's something that's what NFL scouts look for, and just someone with a go-getter attitude that's gonna not settle for less, and just being a good leader. People think leaders need to be very vocal and loud, but you don't have to be. Sometimes being a good leader is just how you present yourself. You can be a quiet leader. I know Justin Herbert, who's a rookie, he's kind of a quiet leader, but he's elevating his team in ways. So as long as you just kind of have a good presence to yourself, you can really make a difference. And then a quarterback with big pressure moments and knows how to take them, is something to look for as well, because there's gonna be a lot of big pressure moments in the NFL, because there's gonna be a lot more closer games in NFL versus college games. And then the confidence and swagger is something that kind of it goes along with just being like really not cocky, but just like I know I'm great, I know what I need to do, and I'm going to keep my spirits up and just kind of keep going, just keep learning the game and not let it get to me. One thing I think really differentiates from good and great quarterbacks that want to be in the NFL is how well they can do with little. Quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, he doesn't have the best receivers at times, but then he still finds a way to elevate their game and win games as well. That's something that's like, wow, not every quarterback can do that in the NFL. So that's something I like to look for in a quarterback. And then one thing I guess is a big thing is a big juicy butt. If you have a big juicy butt, you look good in the NFL. That's what my girlfriend told me.